Hello everyone, today we are checking out something a bit different from usual. Today we are checking out Yoasobi Idol from Oshi no Ko. Now, I've never watched Oshi no Ko, never read it, but I know it's kind of blowing up right now. A lot of people are talking about it, and I was like, might as well check out what the opening and theme of it is, as I know the song has also been blowing up quite a bit. At the time of recording this, there's like 93 million on this song. So I'm very interested to see what the song is like, see what it's all about. I'm not sure how much the opening is going to tell me about the show, but maybe we'll pick up on some things. Let's just jump right on into things in 3, 2, 1, play. Okay. Alright, already we're getting a lot of just playing around with the vocals here. We've got the vocals jumping up high and cutting the air short, as well as that very bass heavy instrumentation. Very sort of, I'm not sure how to describe it. Kind of like staggering, not quite staccato. It's not like it's necessarily a staccato note, but it's bass impact that's not stuttering but separated. And it contrasts quite a lot with the very treble-focused voice, since we've got this very bassy instrumentation and this vocalist very up high. We're already getting this quick comparison between the low and the high, and how she's jumping up even higher at the very end of her vocal segments. That's just emphasizing it more and more. Oh. Very interesting composition there. We got this vocal backing introduction, like this choral anthem-esque support in the back of the mix, and then we went into another transition, like right after that. And then another transition. And now you can hear these synth tones that are matching the percussion that has sustained from the beginning. At the beginning, we had this underneath the very bass-heavy separated percussive elements. We also got the steady sustaining percussive track. And now we're matching that with a synth melody as well, with the vocals pushing forward now, as opposed to being so segmented. And we're bringing in those choral backings again. You can hear it raising in the back of the mix. Ooh. That was a big mix cutout right there. That was like, the transition itself was very smooth, because we're still keeping the top of that percussive track. And I feel like that's going to be something we see throughout this song, probably, with how many times it has sustained. We're going to get that track probably sustaining throughout the entire song, that steady percussive beat, but the vocals are going to switch up, and we're getting that bass just pulling out, going into this almost isolated vocal track if it wasn't for the percussion that's still sustained. And you can also hear those cheers in the back, which I assume are, since the song is called Idol, I assume it's sort of referencing, the aesthetic, her occupation. Nice. That's a very sort of like traditional build you'll see in like a lot of just Japanese rock, Japanese pop, sort of just that build up right there. You hear that? You can hear it's sort of like the synth ambience getting more intense, and then it cuts out, and then right before that, we also got a little bass fill. So you hear that bass guitar doing a little lick, and then we get the synth rise cut out into the next segment. Nice, that was a good note there. Interesting. So now we're pulling a little bit away from the bass in the mix. You can hear the instrumentation with the keys rising up more to the treble. Her voice is still sustaining that treble tone, but we're pulling a little bit away from so much of that bass guitar. We're still getting some of it, but not as much. Big switch up. I like that. You can hear the dissonance. So not only is her vocal demeanor completely switching up here, we're also getting this very uneasy instrumentation dissonance. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe we pulled out a bit from the bottom of the mix as well. We're using the same impact effects that we used in the introduction. So you can hear those bass impacts as opposed to the steady bass support we were getting after that introductory part. Now we're sort of referencing the introduction, but the vocals, instead of being this high treble juxtaposition towards the bass, now we've kind of dropped down low. The demeanor has switched up, and we're matching that segmented bass impact from before, but now we're adding some dissonance into it to emphasize that reference as well as the progression throughout the song. And now the bass, instead of doing the impact, we're getting a sustained bass that's matching the vocals. And the vocals have changed in demeanor once again, though more akin to, you know, how we've switched up here. But we're getting this very, very strong digital effect on the vocal. And we've got this, I mean, it's almost like a rap beat, sort of, like that's underlying the vocal here. It's very odd. Like, this does not fit the atmosphere of the song that we had earlier, but I mean, that's nice to see. You like to see those composition switch-ups and catching people by surprise. That was a very clean transition there. Interesting. So for that build there, not only did we get the synth rise, we also got another vocal track that sounded like it had a different effect on it. Yeah, so not only did we get, you know, the switch up to the higher pitch and getting that dissonance in there, we also got, at the very back of the mix, you hear another vocal track being introduced, another choral track, but instead of the down, low, deeper choral track that we were getting before, now it's a higher choral voking track that, what did I say? I think I just messed up my words there. But what I said was a higher, what I meant to say was a higher choral vocal track that is underlying the transition. And then we're referencing that transition to the next segment of the song as we did before, but what we're doing now is adding more dissonance and another reference to the lower vocal choral track, but putting it up high and adding dissonance. I'm sorry if I'm rambling on a lot. There's just a lot going on in this song. I'm trying to catch on to all of it. Nice, we're getting those cheers again. I have to say, I really like this vocal tone of hers on this segment. Like, this sounds the most natural to her voice, just this vocal tone here. It's very clean, it's very clear. And when we're matching that with the keys in the back, those keys match her perfectly. Like, they're not too treble focused, so it still feels like we're getting that wholeness to the song without missing out on those midtones. Because if the keys went way too high on the treble and they were just relying on the voice to push the midtones, then it would be maybe a little too static. It would be a little maybe too it wouldn't be dynamic enough. But since we're getting that complete key the complete keyboard tones accompanied by her treble-centric voice, with still those cheers emphasizing that progression, the steady percussion. It feels very complete in the mix. Another switch up. Again, they really like that impact percussive note there. It's not bad at all, but I would say maybe referencing it a little too much if I have to complain at all. But it's very nice. Ooh. Interesting. I think those are either keys. I think that's a keyboard, but it does sound a bit like acoustic horns there. I'm not too sure. I could be mistaken. I don't know if I'm hearing that right, but it sounds almost like acoustic horns. Maybe just a horn effect on a keyboard, but that was really nice. I like that introduction because now we're adding that variation to that bass impact tone that we were getting. We were referencing that quite a lot, but here I feel like we've really added something to that to support that bass impact tone while adding some variation to it rather than just referencing it. Let's go back a bit. Nice. That was a very quick transition. I have to say, the vocals, when she's just jumping up high like that, and kind of, you can hear she's kind of constricting her throat a bit, jumping up high, but she's doing it very well. It never really feels like she's constricting her breath like overly, like too much, because usually when you hear someone sort of do that jump up high by constricting themselves, it can sound like a little too harsh. And obviously it doesn't really sound like super smooth because it's not supposed to here, but the jump up high, it's very clean. You don't it's not strained. It doesn't sound strained. It probably is strained, but you don't hear much strain on the rise to the high note at the end of each vocal line that she does, which is very impressive. This vocalist is impressing me quite a lot because she's very versatile. Like, we've gotten quite a lot of just different demeanors, inflections, variation in the vocals throughout the song, and it's been very impressive. My only complaint is that I wish the instrumentation, I want it to be a little more. Maybe it's just not my style of instrumentation, but the vocals are amazing. I'm very impressed by the vocals. This is a very nice piano though. Ooh, these drums are super clean here. Well, not only are we getting the clap effect layered on top of the bass drum, like the bass kick here, but it's very nicely mixed. That is a very nice mix on the drum. You can feel it's a little suppressed, right? You could tell the bass drum there, the kick drum, it's a little suppressed, but because it's suppressed, it lets that clap effect on top of it shine through that much more. And I really like how that's mixed. That was really well mixed. Ooh, that was really nice vocals there. I really liked how she sang that. I really like that vocal tone there. It's like just on the precipice between that really high register and a sort of comfortable natural high register, and you can hear she's just edging that switch between those registers, and it sounds so clean there. That was very clean. Ooh. I have to say that switch up to the to the low chorals with almost this anthem-esque attitude to it, it's very odd. It kind of comes out of nowhere, but I don't dislike it, but it also sounds very out of place in this song. Like, this sounds so out of place. That was fun, though. I really liked that. Alright, that was a lot of fun. I really liked that. I will say the instrumentation was really nice. It was very dynamic. Well, it was sort of dynamic for, like, the switch-ups. The isolated instrumentation just for different segments of the song wasn't overly dynamic, but, I mean, I think that's intentional to let the vocals shine through, show off what they can do. The vocals were absolutely amazing. The vocals were, like, crazy. But, the instrumentation had a very, very drastic switch-ups. I was not expecting a lot of these, but it was a very fun song. And I think as an opening for like a show, it's a good attention grabber. It definitely just hooks you on. You want to keep listening. You want to see what they do with the song. And so that was a lot of fun. I really like that. Feel free to let me know about this show or this opening, this artist. I'm kind of not really familiar with any of them. So feel free to let me know about them. Feel free to recommend more things for me to check out in the comments section below. I know this is a little different from what we usually check out on this channel, but I figured there's no harm in taking a look at what's going on. So yeah, as always, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.